Dark Shadows, number 22, VTR 71266, Air 72666. Take one.
My name is Victoria Winters. I'm more certain than ever that somehow the mystery of my past is entwined with the mystery of Collinwood itself. A mystery that echoes through all of Collinsport, reaching out to others as well. People who are searching for answers of their own.
May I borrow a cup of sugar, lady?
A little early for visiting, isn't it?
Oh, it's after 10. I thought you'd be at work by now.
It's my late morning. Well, might as well come in.
Thanks. Is your dad home?
No. Say, I've been reading about the accident last night. Roger Collins, I mean. Did you hear about it?
Several times. Do you know where your father is?
He should be home any time. What'd you want to see him about?
I'd rather tell him. Hey, is that good coffee I smell?
Was it about the accident last night?
Now, why should I want to see Sam Evans about Roger Collins' car driving off the road?
Well, I just thought that... Can I get you a cup of coffee?
If it's not too much trouble.
I will just make yourself comfortable. I'll get a fresh cup for me, too.
Well, Maggie, about the accident. It wasn't an accident at all. It was attempted murder, they say.
I just can't get over it.
Oh, thanks. Well, it's a fact. Somebody tampered with the brakes on Roger's car.
Are the police doing anything about it?
Not that I know of. Why don't you make coffee like this down at the restaurant?
Well, don't you think the Collins family will call the police?
Why are you so interested?
Just curious, that's all.
You always break Chinaware when you're curious?
Burke, you've been away from this town for 10 years. You forget what a hit joint it really is. I mean, let's face it, we don't have attempted murders every day.
Except at 10-year intervals, huh?
I didn't mean that.
Ah. That's okay, Maggie. My crime was manslaughter anyway. Hey, you do cook a good cup of coffee.
Thanks. Hey, Burke, how long are you going to be in town?
I don't know. Just long enough to get a few things done.
Like what?
You're getting curious again. Watch out, you may drop another cup.
Does this have anything to do with my father?
Well, that's entirely up to him. By the way, where has he gone?
Burke, he's not a young man. He's been terribly upset ever since...
Ever since when, Maggie?
Doesn't matter. Hey, you asked where my father went. Well, he decided to do some work this morning. Got up and packed his paints and his easel and went up on the cliffs. Said he wanted to catch the morning sunrise.
He hasn't done much painting lately, has he?
Well, he picks up odd jobs now and then. I mean, there's an ad agency in Bangor and one in Boston. He's still good, Burke. He has a lot of years of very fine work ahead of him.
Hey, you make it look like I was trying to take those years away from him.
I didn't mean that.
What did you mean, Maggie?
Nothing. I just worry about him, that's all.
I see.
I'll get you a refill, okay?
Sure.
The car's all settled, Liz. I just spent an hour with the insurance man, and everything will be taken care of. But what about the constable? Did you hear from him? I see. Well, I'll be back in time. I just stopped for a cup of coffee. Right.
Change my order to a couple of donuts, Susie, and bring them over to Mr. Collins' table like a good girl. Thank you. You got room for a hungry artist?
What do you want, Evans?
Peace, tranquility, chance to sit down and talk, may I?
I'd rather you stayed away from me.
There's a few things I have to know.
Now, look, Evans.
Mr. Collins, it's the sunrise, that's what I was after. Thank you, Susie. In the delicate play of the light and shadow. You saw Burke Devlin last night, didn't you?
How did you find out about that?
What difference does that make? Did he have anything to do with your accident? Collins, look. We're tied together in this, you and I. Heaven help us, but we are. And I have to know what happened.
I threw it all in his face, Evans. I went up to his room and told him I knew what he'd done. He laughed.
Well, then what happened?
I told him that right after he had invited me to meet him in town, he was seen in the garage, standing by my car with a wrench in his hand.
Was that true?
You think I'd lie about it?
Yes. You might. Collins, we lie to protect ourselves. You certainly know that. I do. God knows. I've lived with it long enough.
Well, he's not going to be protected, I can tell you that. I was willing to give him a chance last night, but not anymore.
A chance? What do you mean?
Well, I was going to make a deal with him. If he had agreed to leave Collinsport and never come back, I was going to forget the whole thing, but it got beyond that point.
Now you're going to involve the police?
I'm going to see that he's put right back behind bars where he came from.
Collins, do you think that's wise?
Do I? Evans, he tried to kill me. Do you want me to wait until he does it again? Or maybe that's what you would like.
Oh, that's nonsense.
Is it? You and I, Evans. We're the only two who really knew what happened 10 years ago. You and I. With one of us dead, the other wouldn't have to worry. And don't tell me you haven't thought of that before.
I made a fresh pot of coffee.
Yeah, I thought you skipped out the back door.
Oh, I only run from enemies.
Are you sure I'm a friend?
Well, aren't you?
I always thought I was. But the way you were talking a while ago, I'm not too sure. Your mother was a very beautiful woman.
Yes, she was.
Does Sam still do portraits?
Once in a while. Say, Bert, you never told me why you came back. To Collinsport, I mean.
Are you just making conversation, or are you really interested?
Well, all I know is if I'd gone through what you did, I'd never want to see this place again.
Well, you're not as forgiving as I am. I don't hate anybody, Maggie.
Do you really mean that?
What makes you think I have something against your father?
I wasn't talking about him.
Then who were you talking about, Maggie? You know, ever since I came into this room, you've been about to say something which you actually haven't said.
I guess I'm a jerk, that's all.
Yeah. Your dad and I have always been close friends, and there's no reason why we still shouldn't be. I used to model for him when I was a kid. Then I went to prison. As a matter of fact, I do have something against him.
What's that?
I wrote to him several times while I was doing my time, and he never answered. But you can't hate a man for that. As a matter of fact, I can't imagine Old Sam doing anything that would make me hate him.
God, it was great out there.
Hello, Sam. We were just talking about you. Did you get your sunrise?
Oh,
Just a few sketches?
what did you mean, Burke? You were talking about me.
Well, Burke was just saying how fond he is of you.
Oh?
See, are you hungry, Pop? I made a fresh pot of coffee.
No, I just had some. So, you're fond of me, are you, Burke? Is that why you came to see Maggie and tell her that?
Not really. She says she thinks I have a grudge against you. Do you still do portraits every now and then, Sam?
What else did she tell you?
Oh, now calm down.
Well,
Sam.
what were you two talking
It
about?
was nothing important, Pop.
What are you trying to do, Maggie? Create problems? Stir up trouble?
Relax, Sam. She was just
You have
worried
no
about
right
you.
to spread my history right in front of Burke. Whatever is said, any discussion we have in this
Take
house
it
is
easy,
private.
Sam.
Burke has absolutely no connection with any of this. Now, is that clear? Look, my problems are my own. They don't involve Burke or anyone else.
I wouldn't count on that. I mean, what are friends for? If you're in a jam, maybe I can help.
No, I don't think so.
Pop, I'm sorry. I didn't think it would upset you that much.
Oh, Maggie. Maggie, you're such a fool. When a man comes to pry, you don't unlock all the cupboards.
Sam, you're being unfair.
Look, Burke, I'm tired. I'm going to lay down.
Sam, wait a minute.
Look, I was up very early this morning, Burke. I'm tired. I'm going to lay down and rest for a while.
What makes you think I came here to pry? I'm not interested in your private life.
Burke, what did you come here for?
I want to model for you again. And I don't expect to be paid this time.
Well, I don't understand.
What would you charge me to do my portrait?
Are you serious?
Would $1,000 be enough?
Get yourself another artist.
Oh, Pop, don't be a fool. Of course he'll do it.
No, Maggie, look.
He'll do it, Pop. I mean, let's face it, a commission like that doesn't come along every time.
But, Maggie, you don't understand.
Pop, we can use the money, and you know it.
Well, Burke, are you sure you want me to do this? You see, well, I haven't done a portrait in, well, a long time.
Listen, I've been hanging around all morning, just waiting to spring it on you as a surprise. Hey, look, Sam, I'll tell you what I want. I want a nice, good one to go over a mantelpiece. You know the one I mean.
Yeah, I know.
As a matter of fact, you've been up to the Collin house, haven't you?
Yes.
Well, what I want is something about the same size as the portraits they have in the drawing room. I want to be able to fit it in. Right there. And it has to be about so big, by so big. And I want it simple, Sam. The way they would do it. From the waist up. Just a plain print.
Hello. Oh, hi, Joe. Well, I haven't seen him yet, but Mother says he's much better this morning. Well, you know my Uncle Roger. A little thing like an automobile crash wouldn't get him down. Oh, I don't know about lunch. Actually, I was waiting for Uncle Roger to come home so I could say hello. I'll tell you what. If I can make it, I'll phone you from the hotel restaurant. How's that? Okay. Bye-bye. Well, now, how's the wounded man?
That wasn't the constable, was it?
Not unless Joe Haskell's changed jobs. How are you feeling?
Oh, fine. Do you know if the constable's got here yet?
I haven't seen him. How long do you have to wear that sling?
Or is it just a prop to make you look dashing?
Well, why don't we find out, kitten?
How is it?
Oh, it's a little sore, but I'll survive. Here, my badge of honor. It's all yours.
Oh, Uncle Roger, I'm so glad it wasn't anything more serious.
That makes two of us. Hello? Yes, it's Mr. Collins. Oh, he did? Fine. Thank you very much. The constable's on his way from the office. He'll be here within 10 minutes. And then, kitten, things are really gonna move.
Are you really going to have Burke Devlin arrested?
Not only arrested, but indicted, tried, and convicted. What do you think of that?
I'm not sure.
What do you mean you're not sure? The man tried to kill me, didn't he?
I know, that's what it looks like.
Looks like? Carolyn, do me a favor. Just don't talk to me any more about it. I don't want to get angry with you. Is Miss Winters around?
Yes, she's upstairs tutoring David. Uncle Roger.
I'd better tell her the constable's on his way. You'll want to talk to her, too.
Uncle Roger, please. I just want to say one thing. Vicky told me what happened last night, that Burke denied having anything to do with your car. She also told me that she believed him.
I see. Well, I was in that same room, and I didn't believe him.
But isn't it possible? I mean, couldn't he be telling the truth?
Why are you so concerned? You hardly know the man.
Because I was the one who brought him up to the house. Uncle Roger, if Burke Devlin did tamper with your car, I'm the one who made it possible.
Oh, nobody's blaming you, kitten.
But couldn't you be wrong? Couldn't it be somebody else?
Kitten, there is nobody else. From the night that Burke arrived in Collinsport, I've been waiting for something to happen, and now it has. And I'm going to make him pay for it.
Even if you're wrong?
Carolyn, you just go on having dates with boyfriends and let me take care of Burke Devlin. He's been in my hair for too long now. And now that I've found a chance to get rid of him, I don't care what you or Miss Victoria Winters or anybody else thinks. He came into town. My car crashed, and that's all I need.
Except proof that he did it.
Don't talk to me about proof. That man's been tormenting me for 10 years. 10 years, Carolyn, and I've lived with it. Well, it'll be over soon now. Proof or no proof.
Proof or no proof? You're talking about sending a man to prison.
You're absolutely right.
If he's guilty, not just because you want to get rid of him.
No, that's
I
not
don't
what I
care
meant.
if it's Burke Devlin or Jack the Ripper. I don't want to think that you'd be responsible for such a thing.
Kitten, listen to me. Just listen. I'm not a monster. You ought to know me well enough for that.
I thought I did.
And so I just lost my temper and said a few foolish things. Does that make me a monster?
That depends upon how much of it you meant.
All I meant was that I seriously believe that Burke tried to kill me. Right or wrong, that's what I believe. It's as simple as that. When a man commits a crime, he should be sentenced. Doesn't that make sense?
Yes, but...
Carolyn, there are no buts. There are only facts. And justice. That's what I'm really after. Justice.
I'm sorry, Uncle Roger. I shouldn't have said what I did.
Oh, we're all upset. That phone call from Joe, was it a date?
Yes, he wants to meet me for lunch. But I thought if the constable was coming,
Why
maybe I
don't you
should
run
wait around.
along? Unless you don't trust me to do the right thing.
Don't rub it in.
Justice.
Well, us working girls gotta go earn a living. Hey, Pop, you're slow. I thought you'd be finished by now.
You know it'll take at least a couple of weeks, you know that.
You know, some artists have no sense of humor. I'll see you around, Burke.
Wait, I'll give you a lift.
Oh, thank you, she said.
Sam, I'll call you when I want to get started, okay?
Yeah, Burke, there's one thing I don't understand.
What's that?
Well, how am I going to have the time? When you first came to Collinsport, you said that you were going to only stay a couple of days.
Well, I changed my plans, Sam. figure you'd had. Shall we?
Where the Action Is made its debut 1 year ago with top recording stars performing where the fun is. Come along for a real good time next here on ABC. Dark Shadows is a Dan Curtis production.